I'm not sideways, right? You cannot see me sideways. Hey ho, because I see it like this, but the words are on the other side. So I. Oh, you can see me like horizontal, like sideways. Is it okay? Because because the comments that I see on this corner are straight, like yeah, it's like the image is sideways, is what I wanted it to be, but the letters of the chat are, I have to do like this to read them. Oh my god, I will have to change it. I will have to change it. Yeah, because and also adding that. Yeah, sorry. I show you. I show you my house. Um, uh, okay, now I can see the comments. Like right, because also uh, the letters of the chat now are suddenly they became smaller. So if I had to read like this, I don't think. Hey Hilal, yay! Finally, it's been a while since we read you. How are you? Yeah, sorry guys, I was playing with my phone, but I don't know what they do. Why did they change the font of the letters? It's so tiny. It's so tiny. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Is there a button to go to landscape? No. It has filters. I didn't know it had filters, but they are not uploading. Oh look, it has filters. Oh my. So that one is too bright. Now, yeah, I'm going to keep this one because in here today is cloudy, even though I'm inside. Uh, um, so usually I like the only light is the light that I have on. Um, I like when the shiny does the filters, the cute filters. Yeah, the Instagram filters. Yeah, they're so cute. I am still laughing at the filter of Johnny as an alien. It was hilarious because until this day, I believe Mark doesn't know which filter was it because he wanted to get it for himself. So he was going through all the filters to see which one was it. And Johnny wouldn't tell him, like the tease he wouldn't tell the poor Mark Where did he get the filter of the alien? Oh my god. Oh my god. In those moments, that's when you realize that they are just kids. That's when you realize that. You see them dancing sexy choreographies and everything, but you see them discussing over these things, and you're like, they are children. They definitely are children. I'm going to be using the manga tarot. That it's been a while since I used it. I think I bought it and I show it to you guys one day, one live, and then I never use it again. So I'm going to be using it. Hey Fluffy! I want to find the alien filter before my next family or friend soon. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. But are we sure it's on Instagram? Because I remember Mark went through all the filters and he couldn't find it. Is there a possibility that he got it from elsewhere and he used it on Instagram? I don't think so. It sounds like I don't think Instagram will let you do that. But it seemed like it wasn't like even, I don't know, maybe you had to pay or something like that. Because the poor Mark was going through all the filters and couldn't find the alien one. Oh, Fluffy, did you see your mod now? I made you a moderator. At school, I'm close to Roswell, so that's always a joke with my brothers and me. Oh, yeah, like I decided the other day because I was watching the comment section and I believe that it was a weekend that Samara wasn't present, that she was traveling. And you were the one that you were there, and I think that there was a moment where you explained to someone in the comment section how we do things. So I was like, oh, Fluffy can do this. Because actually I don't want to bother, like for me, like I can give you all the people that I know, the moderator, like it doesn't mean that you have to act like one, you just have it just in case. But definitely I trust you guys, like you know your the way you behave to somehow like regulate a bit if you see something, if you see some comments. Mm. Yeah, but you're mostly in here, so sometimes because I know that you also have your seasons where you go MIA, so but yeah, it's not to put pressure on you guys. You don't have to do a job. It's not like that. You just have it just in case you came on a random comment or something that maybe I didn't see, and if you can like react to it better. But if you cannot do it, don't bother. Don't bother. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. I just wanted to let you know that you had it because the other day I set it up, um, but I was like, Oh, I have to tell her. I actually was like, um, I click it, but it didn't appear on there. So I was like, I wonder if I got it right. Today I made my mate, but I think that it's going to get stuck because it has a lot of herbs inside. Oh my, it makes a weird sound. So how are you guys? How is the weekend treating you? How are you? Are you resting? Yeah, I'm very good. Thank God. I'm on my period. I'm still a bit deaf, still, but I'm wearing the drops on my ear. Like it's slowly like getting better. But the good thing is that I can listen with the headphones on. Like I listen. It's not that I don't listen, but the problem is when someone I don't know calls me from a distance. That I cannot hear. But I'm okay. I had a lot of readings this weekend as well because I was doing the past life readings, and I had another one. Yesterday I had a personal one with a friend. So I had been doing a lot of readings. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I love working with cards. It's like for me, it's no. Um, it's one of those things that when you're calling, you just do it, and that's why when I rant, guys, about like there are things that there are moments where I'm not sure about what am I doing here in the K-pop community with the tarot deck and some awareness. um, then there are moments where I'm like, oh, but you love doing this. I love talking about tarot, like using the cards. So I guess that, yeah, I can complain a little bit about people being ungrateful, like not getting what we do. Um, but at the end of the day, I love it. It's not it's not a hard task, something that I have to get out of my way and do it. I love spending time with the cards. Yeah, actually, I had that Oracle deck. I had it. I believe I had it like 8 years ago, and I used it. I believe I used it for myself, and I used it for my friend. Um, but then I never used it. And the other day I was like cleaning the shelves and all the tarot decks that I have. And I was like, oh, I have the Oracle of the Past Lives. It would be interesting to offer it. Um, because actually someone sent me an email that they wanted one. They were asking me if I do those kinds of readings. And I was like, yes, I have the deck. Let's see how it goes. And actually it was a beautiful experience, guys. Like I really I was able to connect. Definitely it feels different than when you read for the present or possible future, what's available in the future. It feels different. Definitely. When I was like talking about a past life, definitely like I had some, even though the cards have like images, but I had a sense of like going backwards, and remembering details about a certain life that maybe, um, I don't know why I said it, but yeah, I believed it was important to say it, and this is something that for me, it took me a while to understand that sometimes I do this in the channel. And at first I was a bit like afraid to let go when it comes to my intuition, let my intuition work with the cards in a tarot reading for a K-pop idol, for example. I felt at the beginning I felt very conditioned because uh, sometimes when you read for a certain idol, the fan already has a very strong view about who they are, and where they are supposed to go. So for me at the beginning, I was like, I'm reading the cards, I'm saying this, but I'm sensing something else. And then eventually, as I got used to the idea of reading for them, I started to get a bit more like, speaking up a bit more about what I was feeling and seeing, despite of the cards that were laid on the table. And that's when I realized that I was letting go a bit of trying to censor myself from what I was seeing, because sometimes the fans, like we had witnessed this in several occasions. The fans want to know, but they don't want you to, you know, they want you to tell them what they want you to tell them and what they want to know. And if you give them an answer that is not what they think, they will harm you. They will send you thousands of messages of why they think that it's not like that. That no, because these are best friends forever. They train together. They know each other. They know each other's family. And sometimes, it's not that deep. Sometimes that people just don't get along. Just have the differences, and that's okay. But for some part of the fandoms, speaking, because with the client I can be honest, because the client is paying me to somehow bring a sort of like help them see something that probably they are not seeing or they are not ready to see. So we display the cards and we use it to open, something that maybe the person doesn't want to acknowledge, but they unconsciously know. That's why some people are so afraid to get a tarot reading, because they are like, oh no, they're going to tell me something that I don't want to know, and I'm not ready to know it, and I don't want to know it, and that's okay as well. That's okay as well. That's okay if you don't want to know. That's also valid. It's not because the tarot reading is available, you have to go in there. Um, But yes, we have the responsibility of knowing how to deliver the message, knowing how to deliver the message. Um, I'm, I'm so happy to see you claiming your power. Yeah, because like when I read for my clients, I actually like I have actually once I'm reading cards, I have no control of what I say. Like in the sense that I do feel like I could do some channeling probably, because sometimes I rewatch it or I listen to my interpretation and I'm like, where did I get that? Or when did I say that? Or why did I say that? And then eventually when the person gives me a feedback, they are like, oh yeah, that you said, it's something that had been happening to me, and there are moments where I'm like, you should rely on your intuition more. You should rely on what you see and just like, yeah, say it. It's just that for me, when I say it, it's like I state it. And for me it's like I'm very careful about what I say because it can come true. So I'm like, and this is not from a paranormal kind of side, but I think that the words have power, and I want to be very respectful about what I see, especially when I'm reading for people that they are not asking me to read for them. They are not, the idols are not asking me to pull cards for them, neither me nor all the people that are also working with their energy. So it's like, sometimes I'm like, um, Yeah, they want you to say what they want you to hear. Yeah, I noticed you disabled the comments on BG Journey. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was nasty. Um, like actually, like the one that initiated all was a very long comment about the person talking about their experience while reading for for Tay. This person, I'm assuming, is a Young's fan. She said she had been reading for him for a long time, and she had watched other readings for Tay and other females, and and yes, everything that she said about she getting the same cars and that she's always through the years, she had a whole experience, of reading for Tay, I guess. So this is her perspective, and then she was like, oh, because the king of swords that you got is that person that I always see. And actually the king of swords that I got is from Jenny's side. This is Jenny's perspective, it's not Tay's. So I think that, you know, I totally understand. I think that it was very valid what she shared because it was her experience. But I honestly, at the same time, I'm thinking like, okay, it sounds like you have a, an issue with the tarot reading that got stuck. Usually the cards, and also when time passes and you continue getting the cards, it can happen to me at the same time. Either they have a message for that person or they have a message for you as a reader. And honestly, VTS members, like I have been reading for Tay for a long time, and he's not that complex actually. The ones that their energies I sense that is very repetitive is Jungi and probably Jimin or sometimes JK because of their spiritual side. And also maybe because they don't want people to intrude their spiritual place or their spiritual aura. So when that happens, I let it go. Once I see that this is repetitive or this is like, oh my God, I'm seeing this again, I let it go because what you're seeing repeat itself. It's not a message for the idol, it's a message for you. So, then they were starting to debate because there was someone that also like told that person like, I think that if you had been reading for him ever since 2016, like, maybe you have a you problem, I cannot, I also was reflecting like, okay, I take that as your experience, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do. I don't know, I can open um, a workshop for tarot readings, and we can see that more deeply. But that is your experience as a reader. So I cannot discuss your experience because it's your experience. So what was the argument in the comment section is that everyone were like, but why are you bringing it here? It seems like you are trying to say that she got it correctly and what you saw back then was the correct answer. So that's when they started to disrespect themselves, and then other people joined, and I think that they definitely lose the point of what I did that reading for. With that reading, I don't have to convince you of anything. It's my reading. And if you don't like it, go watch something else. But also, I think that it's valid when someone that is a tarot reader colleague is like, I had this experience. But also, let's just do some self-reflection. If Taeyong is your bias or you're very fond of Taeyong, maybe there's something that is like interrupting, the spread, the moment where you pull the cards, like I don't know. I read for these people and I let it go, guys. I let it go. I don't held on. Sometimes I don't even remember what I said. especially sometimes I do remember when it's recent. But there are moments when you guys let me know, oh, Vanessa, this that you said about this group, something happened, and this is the situation today, and I'm like, oh wow, like, but if you guys don't tell me, I don't remember. I pull the cards, I say what I said, and that's it. With the larger groups like friend or other groups, it must be challenging for the idols to get along or even understand the communications. Yeah, I saw the comment. Yeah, you were there, I remember. I answered her a bit bluntly when she talked about proven fake people pictures. Yeah, that one also. Like, why are you mixing this in the conversation? like, like they want to block her anyway. They would be a message. Hey, Parvati. You're taking that comment in a very wise and mature way. To me, it felt like a Dululu trying to justify her wish, using tarot and possibly lying about it, and at least twisting things to match her views. Yeah, and there was someone else that you were there, but there was also someone that also told her that, like, hey, Mafi, like, excuse me, like, I think that you're projecting, like, I think that this is a you problem, I think that this is something that you have to reflect on, and at the end, like, you know, it's like I said the other day in my live. I said on Friday, I was like, who whose hand Taeyong was holding? Did you ever see an idol holding hands, a male idol holding hands with a female idol? I'm affectionate, I mean it, because holding hands is a beautiful, it can be perceived as, oh yes, because you are a couple, but sometimes when you see idols, like the pictures being leaked of them hanging out, it usually looks like they are running away from a grocery store, or they are hiding in the bushes and they are just talking, but they are separately. Let's talk about body language. They were holding hands. And it was such a cute moment. It was like, I was like, why am I watching this? I felt like, someone recorded a regular couple, because this is the thing. They were recorded like a regular couple, except for the managers, like coming babysitting on like behind, of course. But I was like, this is something that in my experience of listening to this, I'm not that like old. Like I haven't been in the K-pop industry for a while. I came in 2018, so I don't know much about, a scandal, not a scandal, not just erase that word of dating scandal, about idols dating and then getting a proper picture of them actually like being very like yes, we are together, like in a very loving way, romantic way even. There's always picture of them, being close or being in the same frame of the picture. And then there's the association, oh, because, he entered that building and then she came and entered that building as well. There's all these things, but you never get a real moment. And recorded, like in video, I never seen it. If there was someone, I apologize for my ignorance, if there was some other like idol, but this is Taeyeon and Jennie we are talking about. Like, if Taeyong was my bias, I would be so, so happy for him. Because now I understand a lot of things. The guy looks happier, and Jennie looks happier. So in this that they're having, they are being their best self. They are being their best self. So let them dream, let them have that. and be happy. When someone is in love, if you are a good person, you are like, it's a contagious feeling because it's like, I don't know, for me, it reminded me of when I was their age or when I was younger and I used to go on these dates. And you had these moments, and like it took me back in there when you started dating for the first time, or you started like really like having a relationship with someone. It's not you just hanging out with that person because you like them. No, it's really like doing couple things. And it's so cute to see two idols doing that. Like definitely, like I see them as two people, and definitely it warms my heart. I'm like, oh, I'm like, hand holding is sweet and cute. Seeing the managers crack me up and reminded me of the K dramas. Yes, yeah. When I saw it, like I was like, oh my, yeah, these people are, yeah, they have to. But I love that they kept distance. Yeah, that's very good. I think I think I definitely knew that they weren't even wearing masks. Yeah, I see that they're making it known in official moment. Rumor is that they will be at Cannes Festival together. Oh my God, can you imagine the two of them on the red carpet? I would pay to be there. Seeing someone in love is a warm and wonderful feeling. Exactly. 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 Hope. That's how I feel really. That's the emotion. If you ask me, how do you feel about it? Like, I don't know these people, I don't know them. But I read for them, and somehow everything is always related to work, 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 and aspirations and comebacks, and how is this comeback going to do? But actually your bias can be in love and at the same time, participating on comebacks. Yeah, it makes me giddy. It kind of gives me hope in a way. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Because we always talk about this. This is the way I see it. You can have a very handsome idol in front of you. You can have a very nice idol, someone that you listen to him and you're like, wow, I like the way he thinks, he's funny, he's sensitive, he likes to help others, you know, he's a good professional and good to his friends. But you never know if them as boyfriends, they actually take care of their partner. You never know that. Actually, there had been cases of some idols or trainees being abusive to their partners. And the cases that probably we never going to hear about, but it happens. So, you know, let's be real as well. Just because these people are rich or popular, this doesn't define what kind of partner they're going to be, or what that relationship is going to allow them to become. You know, so if I see Tay being a gentleman, like taking care of Jenny, I as a female, not as a fan, as a female, I feel like okay, you know, like Fluffy said, it gives me hope. It gives me hope that there's still men like that. That of course, like I said, it could be the first instances, it could be the first moments, the first months, or I don't know, the first appearances. So everything is shining and everything is beautiful. But relationship is challenging, and when we have to take also into consideration that Tay, I don't know when he going to enlist, probably next year. So I understand if he wants to make the most of this relationship and hang out with her as much as he can and make her a priority. Because once he is in the military, it's going to be, how is it, like 2 years? I think that it's not 2 years anymore. They leave earlier, but it's 1 year and months. She looks so happy, yeah. She looked like a girl of her age. This is a rich, but remember the recent photo of Taemin in the water smiling with such a joy? I saw it and thought it would be awesome for him be playing and having fun while in love. Yeah. It's just that Taemin has a very beautiful smile. Taemin, he smiles and it just like, he's a beautiful man, a beautiful man. Yeah, I hope he finds love. Yeah. I mean, we don't know. We don't know, of course. But I'm glad to see Taemin. We were waiting so much for him. Like, he's not, I'm not a Shiny fan, but definitely I wanted him to come back as soon as possible because, it must have been tough for him. So seeing him smile right now and seeing him, with all this willpower and talent that he has and how professional he is, I'm like, yay, yay, we got you back. Yes, her work was so free and uplifting. And you know that, I don't remember who was the one that shared the video. I was like, is that Jenny? Is that how Jenny walks? I was like, Jenny doesn't walk like that. But yeah, of course, I see always like the idol Jenny. I don't see the regular Jenny walking. But generally, it's a Capricorn thing. We are awful walkers. Like, I can relate. I always blame it to my Pisces placements, that I am so distracted when I'm walking. I don't know. I walk funny. Mostly 18 months. Yeah, right. And there was nothing very glamorous about them. They look so comfortable and cozy. I don't like to idealize idols, but Tevin really seems like an angel. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Wait, guys, I'm going to change that because it tastes funny. It tastes evil. I'm going to change it. Waiting for TXT. Okay. Oh no, they are because they are smart, Hope. They are smart. Because it's cold outside. So they are near the heater. That's why I'm wearing this to cover myself, because it's really cold, even though I have the AC on warm on hot mode. But they are sleeping next to the heater. They are very cozy. They are very warm. They are living their best life, these cats. So there are a lot of hey, wicked lady. Oh, I remember I used to love the Wicked Lady character when I was watching Sailor Moon. The other day I wanted to take a picture and show you the Sailor Moons, not the Sailor Moon, the Sailor. I had some figurines that I actually I got at the birthday party when I was like 10, and I got three of them. I got one Jupiter, a Neptune one, Sailor Neptune, and then I got a Sailor Uranus. The Neptune one is the tallest, because yeah, I believe it's a different material, and I feel so. I love the Jupiter Sailor Moon, the Sailor Jupiter. But the thing that it has is that, remember that she used to have like a ponytail. Well, in that figurine, it I don't know how it fell apart. Something happened, and so she doesn't have the ponytail. But yeah, it still looks like her after 20 years. I'm just waiting for EXO, even though it's not gonna be made. Oh, people when dating you so bad, but when they when they get it, they go insane. Exactly, Akira. Hello. Yeah, that's what we were discussing the other day. We were ranting about it. Like, come on, you ask me all year long, oh, I want to know about my bias. What is their ideal partner. I want to know what they want in a relationship. If they're romantic. And suddenly you have, an idol, two idols being, romantic in a place, in a small video, and you are in disbelief. So I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know. My favorite sailor is actually Jupiter as well. Oh, actually, I have to, I have to be honest about this. When I got it, because it was like a lottery, something like that, and it was weird. Like you were supposed to pick. It was at a birthday party, and you were supposed to pick something out of a bag, and I got that one, and it's great. It's great quality and everything. But I was like, oh no, I didn't want Sailor Jupiter. I don't know why I just didn't appreciate her. I just didn't appreciate her. Um, I don't remember which one was my favorite back then. But yeah, for example, mine would be Sailor Saturn. But honestly, Sailor Saturn, like, for me, because it was represented like this child, and very Saturnian. It was very well represented, like the Saturnian, the Capricorn energy. Her relationship with her father, this illness, and I could relate, to this of her having to deal with an illness very young, and the limitations, because I had it also. But at the same time, her character was too dark for me, and I was very young, and I was like, I didn't relate to her story. I was like, why is she always wearing black? And I'm wearing black right now, but black is not my favorite color. Actually, I like colorful, you know, black is not my favorite color. So I remember watching that as a child and not relating at all. I was like, yeah, I get it. She has a her life, but I don't get it. I believe I was my favorite was Sailor Mercury because she was so nice and she knew about everything, and also Sailor Mars because Sailor Mars was so real and all the time angry at Serena. And I was laughing because sometimes I found Serena character. I don't know how you call it in English, but we call it Serena here. Um, um, Serena was so annoying sometimes, and I know it was done in purpose, but I couldn't there were moments where, of course, she was the protagonist, so you were like, "Oh, I want her to do well." But when she wasn't Sailor Moon, she was just annoying. Hoping for 21 comeback or at least Sandara. Oh. Kind of curious about Taeyeon solo as well. Yes, Shiny too. I saw someone saying that it was covering for Jen Lisa. A marketing strategy, the person even said that they study marketing, which might be true and you might know about it. Oh. Yes, Saturn is a ruler of Capricorn, yes. Yeah, Sailor Saturn fitting for Capricorn. But you're using it to spread misinformation. They said it was a strategy they use when celebrities are in crisis, but I see them both very well. I don't see the crisis, the things they have to do to fit their delusions because of the ships. Yeah. It's just that that's what we were talking about, Akira, the other day. That sometimes, things are simpler, and sometimes things happen, like good things happen, and you don't have to go like, full mode detective to try to analyze everything. Like, for example, in my case, guys, I always tell you this. Even when I did a reading for them and the rumors 8 months ago, I was rewatching it the other day and I was like, Vanessa, the cards that you got were very positive. How come you weren't able to say the words? I don't remember exactly my conclusion, but I was like, I wasn't like focusing that actually they were very confident in this, that they were studying together, that there was something. But I just didn't say it, or I choose to interpret it in a different way. So in that, I do some self-reflection, but the other day that I did pull the cards, I was able to, just say it, just say what I saw in there, and from Tay's perspective, I see love already. From Tay's perspective, I see him in love. And in this case, I'm not saying that Jenny doesn't feel. It's just that Jenny has a lot of fears that are very different. Like for her, it's going to take her a while, but definitely she has a huge respect. She sees him like this king, and there are some things that she has to work on herself, and probably, I don't know, having someone that really wants you in their lives is a good sign, it's something that she's very afraid, yeah. Hola, ¿puedo preguntar por Zero Wise? Quiero tener un buen debut. Shaira, yo saqué una carta hice una tirada para ellos en uno de mis anteriores lives. Yo ya hablé de ellos, ya hice cartas, tirada de cartas para ellos. Si te fijas en los títulos de mis pasados lives, allí vas a encontrar. That's cool. I like her uniqueness too, not worried about the way they put him and took photos our way, without letting him comfortable in it. Fortunately, Taeyeon can get it off. Funny thing, the reaction of Iconics to Jun's kisses scene in Bora. Oh, yes. Lots of encouragement to kiss more. And this time you stop. Your readings are always thoughtful and compassionate, and I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, wasn't Jenny drag over Kai, even GT? Women always have a laugh. Yeah, that is the thing, I think. That is the thing. Because I'm sure that Jenny has fans, and I'm sure that Jenny has female supporters. But from what I was able to pick from some people commenting this, is that they definitely don't want a female idol to be happy. And they don't want it to be with their bias or with a famous and handsome guy. You know, it's like, okay, you want to have a family, you want to have a relationship, like disappear. Like you want to be happy in a relationship, okay, but not in front of our eyes and not close to our oppas. You know, it's like very insulting. It's very insulting as how they as females position it in a way that they defend the idol, the male idol in question. But they don't think that that idol, that male, that man is also lucky to be in Jenny's life. You know, and this is not about her being the luckiest, and no, we don't know. Maybe he is the luckiest. There's this delusional, there's a lot of delusion, definitely. I think that we know it, but I think that the disrespect towards a female idol, it's unbelievable. And you know, they know how to deliver the speech, so they sound like, oh no, I'm just worried about my bias. No, you're just worried that your beautiful prince doesn't get hurt. But yes, if the female of the relationship, if the girl, if the woman, if she gets backlash, it's like, oh well, she should have known. It's like, oh well, she has to deal with that. There's no support. There's not a lot of females that are like, hey, as a female, I seen Jenny like this, I relate, and I feel like, you know, like so happy for her as a female. You know, it looks crazy, but the craziness is one of the things about K-pop. Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy who can wear anything and look confident. De nada, Jaira. En algún otro momento voy a sacar carta para ellos, igual. Yeah, even in Hollywood, famous women have been passed off as witches whenever a famous couple has some kind of a scandal. Yes, the guy gets it easier. The guy gets it easier. It's like, why don't you celebrate both of them? And in this case, it annoys them the most because they're both powerful. So even though they want to be like, oh, that girl that he's with, no, that's not just a simple girl. That's Jenny. And they don't like it. If they don't approve of it, you know, they approve of you know, shipping between the members, but they don't approve of a simple relationship, you know. Like do you remember the person that asked me here, like, oh, would you read about if a BTS member would date a fan? And I was talking about it, you know, I was reflecting about it. Like, really, I don't feel comfortable pulling cards about that. Like, really? A fan? Yes, I agree that worried tone is annoying, or even the laughing emojis. Lol, it's not them, how silly. Like, it'd be so ludicrous for two idols to be together. And also, you know, I think that it has to do with that some of these people don't have the experience of being in a relationship. Or if they had experience being in a relationship, it wasn't very fulfilling. it was chaotic or it was not very well defined. So I think that I'm like, how come this fandom that there's a lot of women in the fandoms, there's a lot of women, how come they're not so supportive of Jenny? They're always looking at the side of the guy. Oh, poor Kai, when they separated. Poor Kai. And we don't know what kind of person was Kai while he was dating her, or if he was dating her. We don't know. Maybe their relationship actually didn't have like a structure, and also with Jenny being this fearful, because obviously I get cards of her being fearful and being very like, you know, limited by that fear, like somehow like trying to run away or push away. So definitely she needs a strong partner. She needs someone that is more decisive, someone that has more willpower, someone a bit more stubborn, that is like going to confront her and her fears and be like, I'm here because I like you and I will not go away. Even if you push me away, I will remain here. I think that the people that we went through this having some kind of trauma in relationships or not being able to trust someone, we were always there. Like we were in that space as well. So when I see Jenny struggling in the cards, I'm not saying that I know them. When I see Jenny as the female, Jenny as the woman in this, trying to somehow not get too invested because she's afraid, and that's also valid. A pretty face doesn't save you from fear and insecurities. And we don't know what other experiences she had with male. That this is something that I also mentioned in the reading. There's something that about the men in her life probably being these very shady people, or these not trustworthy people, just being gone. And then she been left alone, So yeah, abandonment issues. The amount of armies and blinks, especially crazy annoying ones, were analyzing and posting in Twitter. They want to analyze, but that's why they never are in relationships in first place. Because when two people click, when there's chemistry, when they're having fun, when they like each other, there's no analyzing. And in this, I'm talking about two Capricorns. So, if they wanted to analyze it, they would analyze it. But in this thing, while we are talking about Capricorns, I say it from my experience. I always for me, I feel comfortable when I'm able to admire the person that I'm with. It's not about status, it's not about what they do for a living, but I have to sense that they have their life, pretty much stable or together at least. So I think that in this case, Jenny being who she is and Tay being who he is, definitely they choose well. I see it from a realistic point of view. They are like, we are, we're similars. We're similars. Yeah, to be fair, the idol system doesn't help. Talking to the fans are their girlfriends, dedicating love songs for the fandom, for the young fans. They can be dangerous, I think. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you're reading for Kai and Jenny, you saw that it was mostly them courting one another rather than a very strong connection. Yeah, if I recall. Yeah, it was a long time ago. But I think that I also saw Kai very determined to to show up for Jenny, you know, like going to see her, like, you know, this is something that I think that it's very, I never dated a Capricorn man, but I guess that this is what they do. You know, they show up, they let you know that they are interested, you know, they take you on a date, you know, they are very like proactive in that sense, you know, routinary but proactive. But there were a lot of people middling in, you know, and I think that probably, you know, there were some threats in there, and there wasn't much acceptance coming from the companies. Definitely, I see that the companies have to do with this. But at the same time, you know, at that moment, what could Jenny and Kai do? Could they have stood up to their companies and be like, no, we are going to remain together and we are going to fight all the haters, like, and we're going to remain a couple? No. Because their career is their life. So, you know, they probably had a very heavy conversation about the continuity of their relationship, and they decided to now. But at the same time, I believe it was a fresh, you know, it was a fresh beginning, you know. I don't think it was like a proper relationship. I think that they were getting to know each other, you know, we're hanging out and we like each other, you know, and we have fun. But in this case, since I see that Tay is already having like feelings, probably I don't know if someone knows if there had been people saying how long they had been going on, because it seems like Tay has an emotional connection with her. And he's a Capricorn. So if he has feelings, if he's feeling the butterfly, guys, sometimes I feel, hey, Blue, sometimes I feel like Jenny needs a non-celebrity partner. She needs stability that celebrities can provide for each other, even if they want it to. We sometimes will have to stay silent for his image. Yeah. But definitely I see Blue, I see, even though he has to stay silent, I see be willing to risk it all. He is in his rebellious, I mean, he's always been rebellious, but he is in this era that, you know, don't push him because you're going to find him and it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, I remember when Momo was in that relationship, every time her partner mentioned wanting to get married and having kids, people would be terrible at her, saying that she was only interested in money. The reason love scenarios at Temin's return, and speaking of the relationship with Showers and spiritual, makes me think the narrative is maturing, at least for shining Showers. Yeah. Giving her partner what he wanted, although she was 23, and just beginning her career, not trying to bring him up. But nobody even cared or talked about that she was hated for assumptions. Yeah. That's why, you know, I think that there's like a pattern of, like, there's this hateful view. It's like even when people don't say it literally, you can say they support more, like, oh, my bias is dating, my bias is in a relationship, I want him to be happy, whatever makes him happy, and all about him. And what about the other side? What about the female? I mean, you as a female, like, what about her? She's not an accessory. She is a person with feelings and thoughts of her own. And if she decides to break the relationship, oh, she's a fool. How can she leave him? How could she break up with him? Look what she lost. The Lulu. Good to know. Shani has been doing great things recently. Keeping it real. Yeah. While everybody was worried about the much older and experienced man, like you said on her reading, he was trying to get her to secure his relationship with her, and you think she's the problem. And honestly, I don't know much about Hechul. I actually I have to do a reading for him. At some point, I'm going to do it. I don't know because I don't have much Super Junior fans. Um, but I think that that man, I mean, he is a cancer. Like, I don't want to put an astrological label on his persona, of course. But for me, the cancer idol, the cancer, and the Virgo idol as well. It seems like they are the perfect persona uh, to endure in this business, because they always remain youthful. I always think about, why in the fan meetings or in the concerts they always give these idols toys, and when you, for example, there's a show for them at a place or at a house, they always fill it with toys, and I'm always like, really? Toys for them to assemble? Or karaoke machines. I know they're singers. I know the karaoke machine, it makes sense. But why would you give a 20-something a doll, there's always and if they do a tour of their house, they mostly have a lot of toys. And they always talk about how they love to play games. A lot of them love to play games, and they are very passionate about playing games. So, emotionally, there are some of them that stayed in the teenage era. So when they enter a relationship, they enter as teenagers. And a teenager is selfish, is spoiled, and and just wants to have fun and wants the fun side of having a girlfriend. But they don't have the maturity of being like, oh yeah, this is a relationship. I guess I should pay attention to what the other person wants out of me and commit, So, sometimes people are like, oh, how would this idol be in a relationship? They are not that mature. I mean, it doesn't matter your occupation. Men tend to be very childish, but in this case that they are always pushed to stay young forever, they have songs where they talk about being young forever. So, there's a whole brainwashing in there. So when you go into a relationship, of course, when things don't go the way you want to, when your significant other doesn't give you what you want, you are going to throw a tantrum, and you're going to be like, okay, I don't want anything to do with you. Get out of my house. I'm her fan and supported her decision, but also saw her go through so much, and his fans said stuff like, ni que estuviera tan bueno. Oh, como decimos los mexicanos para escribir. Sí, sí, te entiendo, Kira. Sí. It's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. They're sweet. Our proud of Jaime. Honest reaction to haters over his yoga affiliation was kind of compassionate. Mm-hmm. For what we can see from Tay, at least, what we know from his games is very unattached. So if he's seen with someone, he's for real interested, or at least that's the image. I love to. As also an army, I find this cute, and I hope the best for them both whenever they get to. So sick people thinking it's a mutual covering and being blinded by ships. And like Arem said once, they really don't have time to grow up, discover life. For him, it seemed to be very frustrating because it also blocked his creativity. Yeah. And, I think that for Tay, Tay has a song that is literally called Inner Child. So I think that they will always have this very wounded child kind of archetype, because it's not about him being in the business and everything, but I think that probably the people that were supposed to nurture him and give him that emotional connection or that emotional needs, because he's a very affectionate guy, he had hardened himself through the years because he realized that, yeah, some people are shady and they will take advantage of you or they will lie to you, you know, especially when you become famous. You know, everyone is around you because they want something out of you. So I honestly think that if he is in this relationship or whatever relationship he encounters, he probably is going to try to heal and feed that inner child with what he didn't have back then, you know, or reconnect with the times that he was happy. You know, sometimes, especially for us that we have Capricorn energy, for us to mature is actually to understand that whatever our parents, especially our father figure or the strong figure of the house, didn't provide for us, that we have to accept it and somehow become a father to ourselves. We have to become a father to ourselves. We have to provide for ourselves. Like, do you want to feel love? Do you want to have a happy time? You know, like being on a holiday. You want a gift. You want to go and eat ice cream and go to the beach. Go. You do it for your inner child, but you do it. You take the responsibility. Like you didn't have that growing up or you didn't have that as a child, you go and do it. But you also make sure to become a functional, you know, adult so you can support that. So you can support, you know, having those moments of relaxation, of those moments where you spoil yourself. You know, you need money to do that. You know, so that's also like forgiving your parents or forgiving probably being around adults that didn't give you the warmth, you know, the thank God there are some children that they do have that when they are growing up. They do have the inner childhood. They do have very loving parents that always tell them that they love them, that they are very cherished, you know, and they grow up and they have their own challenges as well. But some of us, we have a very cold relationship with our parents, you know, and sometimes when we go into relationships, that's when it displays. You know, that's why I always tell you, like being in a relationship is somehow is like a playground for all your traumas. You know, you somehow expect your partner to play a certain role or to provide for you the emotional needs that you didn't have, you know, so you probably become needy, you become more attached, you become possessive, you become jealous or authoritative, you know, so you don't know what you're going to become while you are in intimacy. But the other person is also like, you know, is going to suffer that. So that's why I'm like, you know, this is 50-50. This is not like because you have a pretty face or a beautiful body and you are a match made in heaven. You know, two hot people dating each other is not the recipe for success or for like a healthy relationship. You know, it doesn't matter what you look like. What is important is what you bring to the relationship and what are you willing to work on if the relationship gets difficult, because it's going to get difficult. For him it seemed to be maybe my parents ignore me and help me. Hey Sarah, parents ignore me and don't help me financially, emotionally for 10 years. Is it wrong that I said bad words in anger for them? But I feel guilty there. By the way, I feel like I should know this, but is Taeyeon your bias in BTS? No. Actually, I'm an OT7. But when I used to have a bias, it was JK. Yeah, JK is my bias in BTS. But because everyone were going crazy for him because, he's the golden magnet, I decided to become an OT7 and not argue with people about favoritism, and people just like, oh, because he is my bias and he is my husband and he is my boyfriend. And I'm like, I just picked one, but yeah, you can have it if you want to. I'm not going to argue. Like, I'm not going to argue. But yeah, JK would be my bias. I like a strong masculine man. Okay, guys, I'm going to be pulling cards. Like, do you have any suggestions so I can, like, yeah, JK and Suga. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I love them all too. Yeah, because then you get, the fans are very sensitive about their biases. And honestly, like, it's not, it can change, it's not the same as me saying that my bias is NCT 127 Utah, because definitely, even though I have bias records, Utah is like the bias. So I guess that when you choose a bias, it's a very strong feeling of ownership, you mean that and no one else. For history, I hope he has help because there's clearly stuff wrong with him. Like you said, he was forcing that to happen. So if someone who has experienced life, he's was to stay forever young and experience things. Yeah, but it's been a while. Like, I don't know, maybe he's already with someone else. We don't. I don't know. Like, I don't read for him that much. So, and I don't know about him. So I don't know if maybe he is. But I'm sure he's going to find his partner. There's for me, relationships are 50-50, guys. I understand that the age differences, because I dated older people as well, and I probably was put in situations where I didn't know that I was being manipulated. So I get it about the age differences, definitely is a danger. But people are manipulative in all the ages. So I think that relationships, it's always 50-50. And these relationships that probably you feel like things weren't fair, you have to ask yourself, why did I put myself in that situation? Like, yeah, I was young and naive, but now, with everything that you know and experience, where were you in the relationship? Like, why did you stay? Like, relationships is all about 50-50. There's always a correspondency. That's why I tell you, whatever the other person has done to me or I done to that person, because there's always a side to the story. When you think that you are the victim, there's always the other person that is going to be like, no, but you were you were awful. So, and also, like, we cannot discuss idols' life because we don't know. We don't know. We only know what they show us. So, but I think that is important to see both sides, and be like, oh, okay. Oh no, it's okay, Fluffy. It's okay. Okay, guys, do you have any suggestions? Hey, Ivan, do you have any suggestions for today? So I can pull the cards and then I'm going to go because I have to cook. Yeah, definitely things can go wrong with anybody. Mm. It's just that when you enter a relationship, there's no extra responsibility, Akira. A relationship is an equals. When you are in a relationship, you are equals. It doesn't matter the age. You are equals in there. So, you know, there could be someone like manipulating something, but you also, like, what happened to you in there that you know. But yeah, I'm happy for her because she's no longer in there. So, that's also, like, because this is not a father son or father daughter dynamic. In a relationship, they're both the same, they're both equal. Um, but yeah, but hobby is in the military. I don't read for people in the military because it's like they are outside the scene. 17 whom? Okay. Hey Eva, did I say hi Eva? WayV kun. Eva, I want to, like, I think, I would like to think that you read, that you read, that you watched my reading for Jenny and Jihyo. Like, how come you are the only Blink in my community and you didn't tell me what you thought about it? Like, where were you? Where were you, Eva, when we needed you? I also heard your kindness and compassion. Jenny tomorrow comes, she's always nervous and anxious. I prefer not to read for Jenny. Because, I already pulled cards for her. We already been talking about her. I think that what we can do in these moments is to let her transit this. At least from my perspective, guys, because I have done a full reading for them. Everyone is reading about her. Everyone is mentioning her. Everyone is analyzing her. We were talking about her. I was talking about her in the other live. So I think we should let her energy and Taeyong's energy rest. Unless something happens, but let's, I already said in my reading where I think that the relationship is going. Go rewatch it, go listen to it again if you have some thoughts or doubts about it, because this is the thing. I often, and this is something that I say to my clients as well, I often say a lot in my readings that you probably, if you watch it once, you didn't get it. But if you listen to it again, maybe, some other perception can come up. I don't talk like in vain. There's always something in what I say. So if you want to go and check it out again, I think that it would be great. If you ever have a doubt or something about what's going on with them, go and rewatch the video. Because actually, like I was telling people in the video, I had been seeing this actually a couple weeks ago. When I pulled cards during a live for Jenny, and then I pulled cards for B after Jenny. So they were like very in proximity, but I didn't see a correlation in the reading. But I also read for Jenny and JK. So I had been reading for her energy for a while and seeing things. So please go back to what I said. Please, if you have some questions, go back to what I say. Because in there's information. And I think that for me, it's important that you connect with what I say, so then you can see it develop in reality. Because if I keep pulling cards for them, it's like I'm canceling what I said before. So this is why we need to give a space between readings. Okay, I'm going to start pulling cards. Bye. Bye, Fluffy. I'm going to start with TXT. Yeah, and also in relationships, relationships, we can give our point of view, but we weren't there, and we will never be there. So, yes, we have to have respect from both parties because we don't know how things work. But yeah, I understand. I definitely see the perspective from that she was the female in the relationship, and the fans, like the supporters, were very, awful. And about that, we were talking about it. Like how sometimes the females in this dating news they are the forgotten ones. You know, it seems like everything is about like, what did she do wrong? You know, why she couldn't stay with him? Like, he's a total catch. He's a sweet guy. You know, I wonder what happened. I'm sure there's something wrong with her. You know, I also see it with Jihyo. Is it Jihyo? Jihyo and Kan Daniel as well. You know, they were all like shaming her. You know, like, oh, she went to his house. You know, she used to go to his house. And it's like, what? You know. Okay. TXT, they got the tower, Five of Swords in reversed, Princess of Swords, a lot of swords, a lot of coldness in here. Um, the High Priestess. And from the Oracle of Mercury in Aries, restlessness. Restlessness. So, honestly, for TXT, this is a very groundbreaking moment. I don't know where they are, but this is a moment of liberation for them. This is like a moment of there's something that is being like shaking in her, like not in her, in their stability. There's something going on in in high buildings, definitely. But when it comes to them, they feel like, okay, this sounds like a brand new beginning. So I'm glad that some old structures are falling. Like, and probably, you know, they are slowly like healing from things that seemed that they weren't going to change. You know, they have the Five of Swords in reverse, so it means that they are slowly like that what hurt in the past is finally coming to an end. You know, they're not that bitter anymore for what had been said, because there's something here about things being said to them, you know, and how for them it's not easy to let go of certain commentaries, of certain guidelines, of certain, you know, like it seems like they were passed around a lot. You know, I definitely see that they were like, you know, you are telling me certain things that definitely it hurts my pride, or I feel like you are being disrespectful. I feel like you're crossing a line and that you don't care about how we feel. You know, so definitely I think that either someone was fired from the group that manages them, either someone was like fired, or something was like destroyed. You know, something was like destroyed. Like, but I think that for their perspective, it's like, okay, finally, like I can put my cards up, because probably there was someone that was very abusive to them, like verbally, you know. And they were like, I'm glad that person is gone, you know, definitely, like I'm glad that the world is burning, you know, that the surroundings, the stability, that they were like, oh my god, this is, we are going to have to endure this person forever. Like, no, this person is finally getting, you know, there's some that probably it affects them as well, because if this is someone that was fired, probably they are being left without staff, or you know, there's a person that is absent, so that place will not be covered right away. But they are like, you know, I'm glad, I'm glad. But also here with the Princess of Swords, there's something, you know, there's some conflict in here with with an earth sign. You know, I feel that I see an earth sign here. I don't remember the. Is it Taeyong, the earth sign? The um, is it Taeyong, the earth sign in because I feel like this is very representative. Um, like even though things are changing and they are abruptly changing in the reality, he is someone that probably is not that happy. Probably he's like, I'm still a bit like angry about this. Probably I will say something or I will do something that will anger a lot of people because I am angry myself. So I wonder who this member is. But also we have the priestess. So, whatever he wants to say, it seems like he wants to speak up about certain things not being fair, or people hiding information from them and lying to them, and him being like, I know what you're doing. I'm a smart person. Like, and I'm also very intuitive, and I know secrets, I know things. So definitely he's a guy that he has a lot of information about what goes on behind doors, and he's like threatening, like he's not threatening, like he's like, I know things. So I'm feeling like if you push me too hard, I'm going to say something. I'm going to uplift the veil, and I'm going to say something. Um, Definitely, I see him on the defensive. There's something about him being like, I could say a few things about, you know, uh, the um, about there are some secrets, and he's like, I have to expose it. I have to say it. Like I have to say it. Like things are not that innocent or are not that, you know. And since I see a lot of source, could it be like him having a discussion with someone on the internet, like actually answering back to the fans or saying something or during a live or something like that? Yeah, he's fighting the establishment. He's fighting the company. Like I don't know if he's going to say something, about like, oh, I don't like traditions, or I don't believe in traditions, or he's very wise. I think that his point of view is very wise. Definitely he knows what he's talking about. Definitely he has like a deepness. But um, he's like, I don't forget, I don't forgive at the same time. And I feel that it's a specific member, it's not the whole group. Because I see that they are, like, the guys are okay. I think that they're okay, but there's always, I don't know why the cards always show me that there's a lot going on behind the scenes when it comes to things being said, miscommunication or promise not being fulfilled or lies or there's a lot of things. And also with Mercury in Aries, this is also a very fiery energy that is about restlessness. So I think that some of the members can open up and actually share too much or maybe say too much because of this restlessness that they have inside. I don't think that is that they want to spill the tea, but there's something about them actually becoming more honest and more straightforward, and being like, probably, having a confrontation with a fan online, like telling them some truth or some harsh truths to the fans. I sense that it will be like a harsh, a very harsh, because an Aries placement is always very blunt. It's always very like, on the throat. And I get a lot of swords in here. So there's a resentment, there's a resentment in there, and I think that this person doesn't forget. So yeah. Protesters will be out and say the film is misogynistic. The Academy is sexist. Yeah. Yeah, I did watch a few, and I think that it's like I get it, but there's something about it that I'm like, is this necessary? Like, like I don't know why I feel like it's intense. Like I don't know if I would watch it. Like, first of all, because I'm not a fan of any of these people except Jenny. Like I don't like those artists, but it is heavy on the sexual things. Like I don't understand why they have to like, but I guess that they want it to be raw, or I guess the message is this, you know um, very confrontative content about. I get it, but I think that it's, what it feels like. It feels like it's a sort of envy. Is in an envy, in a long envy. Like it's not. It sounds like it's glorified, like it's very glamorous. It's like what they're showing, it's awful, but they are glamorizing it. They are making it like appealing. Like everything is aesthetic, everything is, and I'm like, it's very confusing what you're doing in there, because actually what you're showing is ugly, but you want to make it look like, because you put these beautiful people, you want to make it look like, oh, beautiful people also suffer, something like that. I don't know. I think that it's confusing. um, I don't like it, but it's I don't know. Maybe if it was another actress, like, someone that had another kind of acting, like more profundity to their character, maybe I would have watched it. Yeah. Okay, let's pull cards for 17 June. He has a lot of pentacles. Where is he? He's a bit impatient about money, about the possibility of earning money. Definitely he wants a new beginning, or probably he's going to transit a new path in his career. Like he got the Fool, but he should concentrate on his health. He got the Fool card. He got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, so he's a bit impatient. It seems like he wants the results now. He has the Nine of Pentacles, so definitely, he had enjoyed prosperity before. He's sure of himself. He has he had good results in the past. But then, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, so it seems like somehow the working on the details and keep working and being better and perfectionist things is going to get interrupted, because he has the card of Sun in Virgo, health. So I think that he should take care more of himself, because I don't know. I think that maybe he was offered a project, an individual project, so he's like, okay, I'm going for this. I'm going for this. But it seems like he wants to skip some important practicing, or he's not patient, and he wants the recognition. Because he had it before. It seems like this is very familiar. This is something that he had worked on before. But yeah, the details, the working on the details and the mastering of this is going to be interrupted by health. Definitely this year he has to focus on his health. You know, there's something also about him taking care of his body, because he had a lot of pentacles as well. He got a Virgo card. So there's something about his body that, yeah, because he starts with the Fool, so I'm sure that he's a very adventurous person. He's like, okay, I'm going for this, but at the same time, I think that he should like take care more of his health. Yeah, like he's trying to be like brave and everything, but yeah. Okay, WayV Kun. Another one that got the Five of Swords in reverse. Yeah, WayV Kun, he got Eight of Swords in reverse, or the World, Five of Swords in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse, a lot of reversals, and the card of Moon in Gemini, adaptability. So definitely I think that the message, yes, is very clear for Kun. It's about him adapting to what is going on. This is not a comfortable moment for him. He's not okay. Like, definitely he feels like, you know, I feel that there's a bit of resistance, but at the same time there's a bit of understanding that this is a cycle, you know, because he got the World card. So he's like, you know, better days will come. You know, there's a bit of understanding and acceptance in this. But I feel like what he's showing me here with the Eight of Swords at the beginning in reverse is that they never had a choice. You know, that things were happening that way. So the only thing that he can wait for is for this to be over and for them to advance and keep moving and closing this cycle, and hopefully the next cycle is going to be happier or better. You know, he's like trying to, you know, adapt to whatever is coming his way. He has a lot of thoughts. The thoughts are not very positive, but at the same time he's like, you know, he's very realistic about that. Yes, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. So he's like, you know, he's like, I think that he's a very stable, his mindset is very stable. He also is very understanding. It's like he could be much more competitive, but I think that the situation is asking him to temper himself, you know, to do not get passionate, do not get heat up because of this. Like, remain calm, you know, remain calm. Honestly, like it feels like, you know, there was a battle that was lost. He feels a bitterness inside because he's like, okay, I should have done better, or I should have said something. But I honestly, with all these sword cards in reverse, I think that Kun doesn't have the possibility to talk about things. You know, I think that he would want to be more courageous. He would want to probably defend more the group and the name of the group, but he's not free, or he's not allowed to talk about certain things, you know, or to middle in into certain things, or to get, you know, angry or to get passionate about something. They are like, okay, this is the scenario, deal with this. You know, you cannot like argue this because there's no room for you to argue anything. This is how things are presented, this is how things are, so yeah, adapt. Unfortunately, that's what I see. And obviously he feels like this. He feels like they never have a victory, you know, they never win, you know, there's always when they think that they are about to achieve something, suddenly something happens, you know. But with the moon in Gemini, that is adaptability. It's also a card that lets you know that you know that he has to adapt to whatever is coming, you know. Also, a moon in Gemini is to keep talking to the fans, you know, keep communicating with the fans, send the fans a very loving, connect with the fans, you know, even though you probably, I don't know, you don't have much tools available to make a change, you know, proper change. But, you know, keep the communication fluent with the fans. You know, definitely the fans want to listen to them. They want to hear from them. They want to hear from their group. So they also feel a sense of tranquility, you know, that the guys are not missing, that the guys are not separating, you know. So I think that the Gemini moon definitely with adaptability is like, okay, times are tough, but don't close communication. Keep engaging, you know, keep the communication alive. Like, and also this is also going to help him get out of his mind and actually feel like he's accompanied, you know, that there's people supporting them. So he's going to feel a bit more like motivated if he keeps the communication open with the fans. That yes, these are harsh times, but he has to adapt. He has to adapt. He cannot get stuck and stubborn on things that were lost or opportunities that weren't like given. You know, like let it go. Just flow. Just, you know, just adapt. Whatever comes up, if an opportunity comes up, take it. Adapt to it. But yes, be positive, be curious, you know, engage. Don't get stuck. Jihyo. Why to pull cards for her then? Jihyo. She's a very brave woman. She's very smart, definitely. Yeah. Twice Jihyo, she got 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, 3 of Swords, Ace of Wands. And from the Oracle, she got the card of Sun in Leo, Fortune. So yeah, I think that this woman definitely she's a professional in every aspect. You know, I think that definitely she got a lot of 7. So definitely for her, this whole experience hasn't been easy. You know, she had to train a lot, patience, and also like being ready to face obstacles, you know, and being brave and not lose energy, you know. Here with the Three of Swords, definitely she has sometimes worries. She definitely feels attacked. Sometimes but I think that she does it because she's like, okay, I'm trying to protect the group, but there are some things that just get out of hand. And I feel like I have to protect them again. And like, you know, and I also have to keep working all the time. You know, it seems like definitely Jihyo is a woman that she's like, you know, I always see myself like working repeatedly for something, but I never see the end of it. You know, I never been like, okay, done. I'm done with this project, or I'm done with this state in my life. It seems like they always have to wait. They always have to keep going. They always have to, they're in this very plain state where they are not like going back, but they are not like moving forward either. It seems like they are in there. They are maintaining, definitely stability is there. But she's like, when I finally like get used to the routine and everything, and my body's ready and we are ready, somehow there's always comes an attack from the outside. So sometimes she feels like it's too much for her. As a leader, she feels like a betrayal. She feels like it's a personal attack to her persona. But then she has the Ace of Wands. So she's a very resourceful person. She is like this very intense and energetic person. So she's like, yeah, I suffered, but I'm going to create a new beginning with this experience, or I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep advancing. I'm going to keep introducing changes and new things. So definitely I see her like, still working on something new, starting a new cycle, very passionate, and always being passionate. I think that this is, Jihyo is someone that maybe you can, some things can affect her mentally because she is, she is a sensitive person like we all are. She's a human person. But then she has the Ace of Wands. So she's a very creative and she's a very passionate person. So even though, there are challenges and sometimes she has to be patient with the dumbest things that happen to them. And she's like, oh my God, not that again, But she's like, we're going to make it anyway. And she definitely is a leader at heart. She definitely is a leader at heart because she's like the one that introduces the change or introduces the new beginning. She's like, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start with this, very passionate. And she definitely is passionate. She's not doing it because like, oh, yes, it's my job and, it's a role that I have to do. And yeah, because I've been told that I have to do that. No, for her, it's serious, It's something that comes out of her inner force. And with the card of Sun in Leo, definitely there's a sense of, trust, and also she's very happy. And she feels like she's very lucky and fortunate to do what she does. She definitely feels like she's at her best when she is being a leader, when she is being an artist. So I think that this year is going to be very creative for her. Probably she's going to come up with a new project or idea that is going to somehow bring some lighting to the... I'm sorry, guys. To the group and to herself. I see her shining very bright. So, she could have some individual work, someone like actually like presenting something that is very important for her. She has potential. She has potential. She has potential to do something for her, And also, I was thinking about it because I remember the other day that I pulled cards for Sana, and I also got that she got the Ace of Wands. And I was like, and also for now for Jihyo. These are very fertile women. Because I'm seeing the Ace of Wands, and for me it's like a pregnancy card. Obviously in this I don't see people, so I think that they are mainly focused on their work. But these women in the future, they will be great mothers. And I don't know why, actually, like becoming a mother or getting pregnant is going to change their lives. But I think that it's going to change their lives for the better. There's something about reproduction. There's something about welcoming a child. You know, I think that these are very passionate females that, yeah, they put all that passion into the work because this is what they know. But I think that probably their greatest accomplishment in life will be to become mothers. So I don't know if maybe in their very intimate side they are like wishing or they are like fantasizing about becoming mothers. Because I seen this for Sana as well, and I was like, this is much more than work. This is about them being fertile, about them also being being good mothers, like, but you know, the passionate mother, like, are really, like, I would want to have a child. You know, definitely I don't see their personal life, I don't see a relationship, but I think that when we think about their potential to keep shining or their potential to being happy, I think that the motherhood is there. The potential of having children is there. Probably they think about it or they reflect a lot about it. Or they are like, okay, once I have my child, I'm going to retire or something like that. I think that they talk about motherhood. Okay, guys, I'm going to go because it's been 2 hours. Yeah, but Jihyo is very smart. I think that, and she also has, like, she's a real leader. Like, definitely, she's much more than a leader. She's like a motivational person. She's like a coach, you know. So I think that if you need some guidance for your group, or if you have a group that is messy or that is not good in their dynamic, you should introduce Jihyo to them because she definitely has some. Like, for her, leadership, it comes naturally. It's part of who she is, you know, and she loves to see people grow. You know, she's a huge, like, promoter of that, you know, so, yeah. They should pay her to be this sort of, like, coach or this advisor because she's very good. She definitely does it because it's the leadership borns from her. You know, she knows what she's doing. She doesn't do it because she was put in that role. There are some leaders that it's not that they don't know what they're doing, but they are put in there because they need a leader, you know. And for her, as a female, she's like this very boss person, you know, this boss babe. But a very gentle and organized one, you know, like a very congruent kind of leader, you know, someone that teaches you with example how you have to do things. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here with me on this Sunday. So yeah, I'm going to go, and I hope that you have a great day and that you have a great start of the week. So yes, let's wait for tomorrow. Khan's appearance. At what time is it going to be? The Khan's appearance. Because maybe it's going to be while I'm sleeping, I'm sure. I was asking everyone in the community, but it seemed like no one knew because, you know, we have different time zones. So, but yeah, we will keep expecting to see what we see, to see how we start the week, if we get another news. So, yeah, I think that these are interesting times, guys. Even if you're not a fan of the groups, these are interesting times in K-pop. So I think that we should embrace it, embrace change, embrace that there are some things that are falling apart, there are some things that are changing. So yeah, we should observe that, you know. So yes, guys, have a great day.